Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a few topics to get into today, and we're going to start here with some more games coming to Nintendo Switch Online service. 3 more Super Mario Advanced games joined Super Mario Advanced on the Nintendo Switch Online service since they launched the Game Boy games. And these will be coming to the service on May 26th. And these are sort of remakes of previous Mario games that feature new gameplay mechanics and changes graphically and audio enhancements. And the first one is Super Mario Advance, and this came out in June of 2001, and this is a remake of Super Mario Bros. 2, the one we got here in the US, not the Lost Levels version. And then we have Super Mario World, which is Super Mario Advance 2, and this came out in February of 2002, and this is of course a remake of Super Mario World. And then finally we have Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, which came out in September of 2002, and of course this is a remake of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And it's also worth noting, in these remakes, there's also a remake of the classic Mario Brothers game, and you would be able to play 4-player online with this. So that's sort of a nice hidden bonus here. And this does complete the Super Mario Advance series on the Switch, so you can enjoy some Super Mario this week. Okay, so now back to our regular background music. We've seen Nintendo in the past sit on some games that are complete in order to release it at a time that they feel is optimal. We've heard rumors of Metroid Prime Remastered for years before it came out. And we also had a screenshot of Fire Emblem Engage leak out several months before it was officially announced, and we had several reports that the game had been ready for a while. Well, it looks like Tears of the Kingdom may have used that same strategy. Eiji Aonuma did an interview with the Washington Post, and in that interview he said he played The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 20 times over the past few years. We'll take a look here at the article. It says Breath, referring to Breath of the Wild, became most successful title in the series with about 30 million copies sold, creating especially high expectation for Tears of the Kingdom. It was supposed to be out by last year, but in March 2022, Aonuma had to announce its delay, quote, to make sure that everything in the game was 100% to our standards. Big video games these days have been launching with bugs and poor graphical performance, while Tears of the Kingdom was released with no issues, despite more complex physics than even the most expensive PlayStation 5 title. And I'm sure a lot of that debugging time over this past year was spent trying to make sure all the physics felt correct. And if you've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, you can definitely feel how it really uses true physics in a lot of these contraptions you build with the Zonai devices. Just for one example, I tried to attach a hot air balloon to a board and I wanted to go at an angle, so I was like, oh, I'll just put the balloon at an angle. Well, no, when the balloon went up, it just went straight up and my board turned sideways and I fell off. So the game definitely makes you really have to think about how will this really work. There's not a whole lot of tricking the engine to get what you want out of it. And I would say that the extra year definitely paid off. The game released with relatively no issues that I've been able to notice. And I think there was a patch that came out just the day before it was released, and a lot of testers said that that fixed out most of the frame rate issues that it had. Although there's still a few places where you could feel it drop to 20 and sometimes maybe even 15 frames per second. But overall, it is pretty steady on the frame rate. But let me know your thoughts below. Would you prefer a game get a longer delay and make sure that all the bugs are really ironed out? Or would you rather see studios go ahead and release a game when they said they were going to and just patch out the bugs over the next few months? Next, we're just 1 month away from the release of Final Fantasy XVI, and it looks like the embargo for what appears to be a press event has lifted today, and we get some details about the game and what could be a demo upcoming. Now, there's been no official demo announcement yet, at least as of the time of recording this video, but I would expect an announcement perhaps at that PlayStation Showcase on Wednesday. And like I mentioned, a lot of different outlets had write-ups about this press event, and I'm going to look here at a section from Games Radar. And they sort of sum up here by saying Square Enix has yet to reveal when the demo will be available for download, though it has been said to be roughly 2 weeks before June 22nd release date. Better yet, you can carry your progression over to the main game should you decide to buy in. Essentially then, you'll get to play the first few hours of Final Fantasy XVI, before weighing up if you fancy putting your money down to continue the adventure. Now, the 2 weeks is obviously sort of an educated guess on their part. I don't think we're going to see the demo drop at that PlayStation Showcase this week, but we might get information of the demo's release date or that it's at least coming. And obviously, since a lot of these outlets have already written about the demo, we pretty much know it's coming, so they might as well give us a date or an official announcement to the general public. But to get a bit of an idea of what's in this demo, the article here from Games Radar says, Final Fantasy XVI's demo focuses on protagonist Clive's early years, making up the impending JRPG's earliest gameplay segment. That comes from producer Naoki Yoshida, who revealed some tidbits about the demo at a recent press event. The Final Fantasy XVI teaser captures the start of the game and lasts several hours, and over that time, you'll see a teenage Clive go through major life events that shape the narrative of the rest of the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to Final Fantasy XVI, and on a side note, there was an interview with Yoshida at GQ Magazine, and in that interview, he indicates this may be the last time we get a numbered Final Fantasy game. You can see the question and answer here. Do you think you'd ever just ditch the numbers entirely? We've seen big franchises like God of War reboot with no numbered entries. In his response, that's actually something that I've discussed with the higher-ups. Maybe it's about time we remove the numbers from the title. For example, you have Final Fantasy XIV. You get a new player coming in, and it's like, wait a minute, why do I have to play Final Fantasy XIV if 16 is out? Why don't we just call it Final Fantasy Online? Just get rid of the numbers altogether, and that'll make it easier to understand. Whether Final Fantasy 17 or Final Fantasy 18 should have a number or not, that's going to be on whoever has to develop that game and whoever's in charge of the branding, so that's their problem, not ours. And he kind of throws a joke in here at the end, but to me it kind of makes sense to drop the numbers on this mainline series. If you think of it in the terms of the movie industry, you don't see a lot of movies come out now that are numbered. So like you had a previous Batman trilogy that didn't have Dark Knight 1, 2, and 3. They each had their own name that didn't have any numbers in it, so that you could just go in and watch it and didn't feel like you had to watch the previous movie. But I do think a lot of gamers are a little more plugged in with the Final Fantasy series and understand that 16 has nothing to do with like 8. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that Final Fantasy mainline series should keep the numbering system, or should they just sort of give it a subtitle? Next, it looks like but then this past February, he claimed that AEW Fight Forever will be available June 29th. And it is coming to the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And some of the game out, and finally we have just a quick update about Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It looks like another country has approved this deal, and this is coming to us from GameIndustry.biz. China approves Microsoft Activision of Activision Blizzard. So China's approval would follow that of, just for example, Ukraine, Japan, Brazil, Chile, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and also one of the biggest hurdles, the European Union. Now, this was officially confirmed by Microsoft. You can see right here from the article, it says, in a statement to GameIndustry.biz, a Microsoft spokesperson said China's unconditional clearance of our acquisition of Activision Blizzard follows clearance decisions from jurisdictions such as the European Union, Japan, and bringing the total to 37 countries representing more than 2 billion people. The acquisition, combined with our recent commitments to the European Commission, will empower consumers worldwide to play more games on more devices. And this is obviously in reference to cloud gaming, which was the sticking point for the CMA who blocked the acquisition last month. And of course that's being appealed, and then we still have the FTC who said that they would sue to block the acquisition. So I do wonder how much pressure will be on the CMA and the FTC throughout the rest of the year to come up with some type of agreement to allow this deal to go through. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? If it did, make sure to leave a comment below and let me know. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Less than 10% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so it would help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.